ブルかぶるじゃない。
Jobless Reincarnation, also known as Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Honki Desu, follows the story of the newly isekai'd Rudius. As he grows up, he discovers his magical abilities and decides to become a powerful mage, setting out on an adventure filled with action, drama, and romance. We start out our anime with a typical Japanese man. After meeting his untimely demise, the homeless and jobless Japanese man is given a remarkable opportunity to begin anew in a world that's both fantastical and wondrous. Upon his rebirth, he becomes Rudius, son of the highly skilled swordsman Paul Greyrat and the gifted healer Zenith. Despite being reborn, he retains all the memories of his previous life, and as such, he's able to quickly adapt to his new surroundings. With time, he even learns how to read and is soon practicing magic, to the amazement of those around him. Realizing his potential, Rudius's parents enlist the help of Roxy McGurdia, an experienced adventurer, to teach him the art of magic. At first, Roxy is hesitant to take on such a young apprentice, but after witnessing Rudius's incredible talent for casting spells effortlessly, she knows she's in the presence of a prodigy. In honor of Roxy's arrival, the Grey Rat family hosts a welcome party, and Rudius takes this opportunity to recommit himself to his studies and to become the best magician he can be. Armed with a renewed sense of purpose, Rudius is determined to make the most of his second chance at life. As Rudius reflects on his past life, memories flood his mind of the day he was cast out from his home and was struck by the truck that ended his existence. However, his thoughts soon shift to the present as he focuses on his training with Roxy. For months, he has been honing his magical skills under her guidance, and now he eagerly awaits his graduation exam. As the day of his 5-year-old birthday party arrives, Roxy announces that the time has come for Rudius to showcase his talents. Filled with anticipation and a hint of nervousness, Rudius sets out with Roxy by his side. Though he can't help but feel anxious about his past trauma, he finds solace in the fact that he has a supportive companion by his side. As they journey to his exam, he observes how Roxy manages to blend seamlessly into the village, despite being subjected to prejudice due to her demon heritage. It's a heartening realization that provides Rudius with a newfound sense of hope. When the exam finally arrives, Rudius summons a massive thunderstorm with his magical abilities, impressing Roxy with his prowess, and after a moment of anticipation, Roxy declares that he has passed with flying colors. As their time together draws to a close, Rudius expresses his gratitude to Roxy for all she has done for him. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. What is your favorite anime opening? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. After conquering his fear of stepping outside, Rudius gains the confidence to venture into the great outdoors all by himself. It's then that he comes to the rescue of a half-elf child who's being mercilessly bullied by a group of ruffians. Little did Rudius know that his act of bravery would lead him to forge an unbreakable bond with this child, whom he mistakenly believes is a boy named Sylph. As fate would have it, Sylph quickly becomes Rudius's closest ally and confidant. Together, they embark on a magical journey of discovery, with Rudius eagerly teaching Sylph the ways of wizardry. It doesn't take long for Rudius to realize that Sylph is a gifted magician who can perform spells without ever uttering an incantation. Fast forward 6 months, and Rudius invites Sylph back to his home on a stormy day. Once inside, Rudius decides to take a bath with Sylph and forcibly removes the child's clothes. That's when Rudius makes a startling discovery. Sylph is not a boy, but rather a girl named Sylphiette. Rudius is overcome with embarrassment and immediately apologizes to Sylphiette for his mistake. But despite his efforts to make amends, Sylphiette starts avoiding him, which fills Rudius with an overwhelming sense of disappointment. Sometime later, Sylphiette finally reaches out to Rudius and the two patch things up. Overjoyed to have his first real friend in this new world, Rudius makes a promise to cherish their friendship forever. The Grey Rat family is bursting with happiness upon learning that Zenith is expecting once again. However, their joy is abruptly cut short when their maid Lilia reveals that she, too, is carrying a child after engaging in an illicit affair with Paul. This news throws the family into a state of distress, but Rudius steps up to the plate and devises a plan to protect Lilia from Zenith's fury. Despite knowing that Lilia was the one who initiated the relationship with Paul, Rudius convinces his mother to forgive her by having Paul take all the blame for the scandal. Rudius's actions do not go unnoticed, as Lilia is extremely grateful for his efforts and in turn pledges her loyalty to him. Zenith and Lilia both give birth to healthy baby girls named Norn and Aisha, respectively, further solidifying the bond between the two mothers. Meanwhile, Rudius receives a letter from Roxy urging him to study at the Renoa Magic Academy. This is an exciting opportunity for Rudius, but Sylphiette is apprehensive about him leaving her. Instead of giving up on his dreams, Rudius decides to look for a job to pay for Sylphiette's tuition so that they can both pursue their aspirations together. Eventually, Rudius's parents entrust him to the care of their friend, the beast woman Ghislaine de Doldia. As Ghislaine and Rudius depart from the village, he pulls out a letter from Paul, who had recently discovered a tutoring job for him to pay for his and Sylphiette's studies. However, to Rudius's dismay, the letter includes a strict condition. Paul forbids him from returning home or seeing Sylphiette for the next 5 years. Upon reaching the bustling city of Roa, Rudius meets his new employer, Philip Boreas Greyrat, a prominent figure in town, who also happens to be Rudius's father's cousin and the mayor of Roa. Philip entrusts Rudius with the task of teaching his daughter Eris, but upon meeting her, Rudius is met with hostility. Undeterred, Rudius hatches a plan to gain Eris's trust by staging a kidnapping with Philip's consent. As they are captured, Rudius manages to convince Eris to cooperate with him, and they make a daring escape using his magical abilities. Upon returning to Roa, Rudius's world comes crashing down as he discovers that one of Philip's servants had colluded with the kidnappers, taking advantage of his plan to stage a real kidnapping. Fueled by a desire to protect Eris, Rudius fights off the kidnappers until Ghislaine swoops in to save the day. The criminals are killed and the servant is arrested. Finally returning home, Rudius is pleased to find that Eris has accepted him as her tutor, and he starts living in her house. Philip expresses his gratitude towards Rudius for protecting Eris and reminds him of the importance of secrecy regarding his connection to the Grey Rat family. It is crucial for Rudius to maintain a low profile lest he attract unwanted attention once again. As Ghislaine imparts swordsmanship lessons to Eris and Rudius, Rudius in turn teaches them magic, literacy, and mathematics. Although Eris often finds these subjects boring, Rudius comes up with an ingenious plan to keep her interested. He grants her a day off each week as a reward for her diligent efforts. During one of their leisurely strolls through the city, Eris attempts to purchase an expensive book for Rudius, but he politely declines. Instead, he reminds her that she should use her own money when giving presents to others, and advises her father to give her an allowance. Later, Eris surprises Rudius with a vial that he had previously expressed interest in. However, he is now in a quandary, as the vial turns out to be an aphrodisiac, and he fears that revealing this to Eris and Ghislaine would lead to an awkward situation. What will happen next? Find out on our next recap of Jobless Reincarnation.